Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gentlewoman podcast with Grace Hayden. I just realized my closet is open, and that's annoying, but I'm not going to get up and fix it, so we just have to deal with that today. So, I am excited to be alive. It is Easter Sunday, and things are happening that are great. I got about 1/5 into a paper today. It's not due till May 2nd. However, I am going on a trip at the beginning of May. Finals will be done by May 2nd, so I really don't want to be doing school stuff once my classes end. Um, just really not the vibe, like doing it right before it's due. So I'm trying to get it over with, even if I have to do a little bit after finals. As long as there's a chunk done of it, I think I'm gonna be happy with myself. But yeah, got like 1,300 words done out of the 5,000 that are needed for the assignment to be correct. So I'm really excited about getting that done because yesterday I was in a little bit of a depression, and you know what? That happens to everyone. I had a really busy, so today's Sunday, I had a really busy Friday. That was sort of like an impromptu busy day. I basically went out with my friend Elida, and from like 11:30 till literally like 9 at night, I got home, and we just did all these touristy things in Paris because she's traveled a lot and hasn't really got to see a lot of Paris or get a lot of things crossed off her like bucket list per se. And we did Mama Shi, I think it's called. It's like a famous boulangerie, which is a pastry shop, and we got sandwiches there and some desserts too to snack on. We also went thrifting. This was all happening in Montmartre, which is really far away from the center of Paris. Well, really far away from where both of us live. Not that far away from the center of Paris. Um, we did that, and then we went to Shakespeare and Co., which is a really famous bookstore in Paris, which was lovely. Very long line that we were in, but it was okay. Also thrifting, I almost got these like perfect Ferragamo heels, except they weren't that perfect because they were a little bit too big for me. Like my foot kept flying out when I was wearing them around the store, and then also the one bottom was like lifting and peeling a little bit. So I was like, even if I buy these for like $35, which I think was a good price, I'd end up spending like another 60 on getting them fixed or like adding a little sizer in there so it would fit me better, maybe even 100 to get all that done. So I was like, maybe not on these heels, but they could always be there still. So I always take a picture of the place, and I'm going to think about it a little and maybe go back. And if they're there, maybe it's meant to be. We'll see. Um, However, all this traveling around, oh, and then even on Friday as well, Shakespeare and Co., Notre Dame, because it's right next to Shakespeare and Co. Then we went to the Eiffel Tower area and got a bunch of cheese and baguettes, and Elida got ribs and mashed potatoes, and I just got mashed potatoes. Um, we had a little picnic at sunset, which was really fun. And right now in Paris, there's two Eiffel Towers. There's like a baby one, and I don't really know why that she's put up, but she has a little writing on her that says like, "I'm my fella," like my birthday was April 5th, like at 5:50 a.m. Like it's really cute. So we love Ifella. We don't know when she's gonna leave us, but I got a little video of the iconic two Eiffel Towers, which I literally thought was an April Fool's joke when I first saw the article about it, but it was not. And she was put up on April 5th. So let's see how long she lasts. But yeah, that day just kind of took it out of me. I hadn't done a long touristy moment, standing in lines day for a while. And it really took it out of me. And even last week, Asher was here. So that was kind of like an impromptu trip that he planned pretty late in the game. So I wasn't really expecting to do all that traveling that I did. So all in March, I went to Barcelona, Dublin, and Amsterdam. Only had 1 weekend off, and the 1 weekend off, Kelsey was visiting Paris, so I had all that going on too. And then my first weekend in April, my boyfriend was visiting, so then it was just like a 5 week excursion. I think everything really just hit me Saturday day, and I could not get out of bed. I could not lift my blackout curtains up. I could not do anything except lay in bed and watch Modern Family. And I honestly think that that is okay. And I think a past version of me would have been really, really, really upset with myself. And I wasn't not upset with myself, but I was just like, what is the point in even being stressed about this? Like, you have to rest, you have to take time to rejuvenate. You did so much this past week and all the weeks before that, and you're just going, going, going. So why would you expect to continue to have energy when once the weekend hits and you have literally nothing to do, no responsibilities, nowhere to be? Like, it was kind of inevitable that it happened. And I'm glad I did because I was able to be really rejuvenated for a dinner with my friend. And that was great. And I was in a good mood because Friday night also, I think what contributed to my Saturday tiredness was the fact that when we got back, we had another friend that wanted us to go out to drinks. Well, I think that was always the original plan, kind of, but I was just so tired and I kind of like really forced myself to go out. And then I was a little bit mean when I was out and just like in a bad mood because I wanted to be in bed and I was out getting like a $30 cocktail, like one cocktail for $30 out at some hotel bar in Paris. And I was like, as much as this is the dream, like I would so much rather be in my pull-out sofa bed right now. Like it's just crazy how life happens and changes you. But um yeah, I'm really grateful for all these experiences I get to have. It's really crazy that this is my life. It's also really crazy that sorry, I have to yawn, that it will be coming to an end soon in a way. I mean, I'm leaving. I move out on the 16th of May. My family gets here on the 14th of May. So when I'm with them, it's all going to be like touristy things all over again, which is totally fine, but it won't be like my experience anymore. So I am trying to cherish it as well as like still putting um, effort into like my self-care and relaxing and getting my schoolwork done because school is not over yet. It's over in 2 weeks. I still have 2 weeks of classes left. As much as I would like it to be over right now, it is not. So I can't really fully enjoy the weather, but I'm also really not letting myself take enough breaks outside and just in general, if they don't involve laying in bed, which isn't the best thing, I know. And it's just annoying because right before Amsterdam, I was on a really good kick of like running and getting outside and walking because the weather was getting better. And, you know, shit happens and you can't get out of bed sometimes, and it's okay. And I really learned that from my queen, Emma Chamberlain, who's just been talking about the coolest stuff on her podcast lately. She's done an episode about podcasting, like on her podcast and why everyone's doing it. And that one really spoke to me because she said, like, a lot of people don't realize how much goes into it, especially if you want like a structured podcast. And I wouldn't say my podcast is structured at all. I think I started with a want for it to be. But at the end of the day, I'm just not really in the place in my life where I can like research for an hour long episode. This is just a therapeutic way for me to talk about my life to someone that will listen. I live alone, so it gets really lonely out here. Um, so I use podcasting as a way to just connect with myself and to, I guess, hear myself talk because sometimes I just sit in silence all day. But yeah, she's my whole inspiration. She's so cool. I don't know, everything about her is just lovely, and She's very authentic, and I really do love how much effort she puts into her episodes. It's really inspiring me to maybe think more about what I'm going to record before I start recording, or just like before I even post something. But for now, we're staying on the little more personal grind of the Gentlewoman and just talking about my life. But when Asher was here, it was lovely. We did so much. I did not record a podcast that week because Sunday we were too busy crying our eyes out about leaving each other. So, didn't have it in me to record a podcast. We actually wanted to record one together, but we were just like, again, too busy being with each other, being present, watching shows, because that's one of just our favorite things to do together, is lay and watch shows. So, and we didn't really do that because the whole trip was go, go, go. We went to Disneyland in Paris, which was something I was really, really wanting to do, and kind of something I thought was going to be on the bucket list that I was going to miss in a way, because I was like, who's really going to want to go to Disneyland with me? You know, we're adults. Um, but I just really liked the idea of being able to take public transportation right into Disney World or Disneyland. And yeah, it was so cool. And we got there really early. We couldn't go into the parks until 9:30. So in the Disney Village, there was a Starbucks. So we just like blew some time away at Starbucks. And then we started our day. We went on the Tower of Terror first, which was so much fun. And then we avoided that like long line that forms when we got there really early. So that was a great trip. And by like, I think 3 or 4 o'clock, we were pretty much done. And I had an interview that night, which I don't think I ever heard anything back from them, which is interesting. But whatever. I had an interview that night, so we couldn't stay for like the night light show. But by the time it was like 4 or 5, I can't remember, we were done. Like we were out of there. There's only 2 parks at Disneyland Paris, so there isn't really that much to do, especially as an adult. Like you're not gonna like wait in. I mean, some people will, but we weren't gonna like wait in line to see people or get a bunch of food at the park. People, I mean, like people in costume, like you know. We did take a picture with Goofy though, and we did try to get a picture with Pooh, and we couldn't because the line closed off by then, which was really annoying. But it was so much fun, and it really was like healing for my inner child, because I don't know, like going on those rides with like your partner is so different than going on with like your brother or sister or your dad or your mom. Like it's just like so lovey dovey. But we did go in a lot of the single rider lines because they were like completely shorter than getting in a line, like getting in the main line. Because we obviously weren't gonna get fast passes for like a day at Disney. Like I get if you're going for like 3 days, you don't want to stand in line for 3 days straight. But we were just there for a day, so we excuse my yawn. Um, we would just go in the single rider lines, and actually for the Ratatouille ride, we went in the single rider line, which was literally like 10 minutes, and the regular line was like an hour. And we got to sit together, so that was really fun because that's more of like an intimate ride where you're like sliding, not intimate in like a weird way, but like you are like right next to the person that you get seated next to, and you're like sliding around. So it was nice because we were able to like hug each other and be like cute. But then some of the rides that we didn't get to be in the same like row in, or even in the same like coaster, um, they were just funny because we had to go alone and we were like screaming on our own. But yeah, I would much rather that have happened than us like wait in line forever and ever. And I think the longest line was probably Space Mountain, which was really fun. And they tried to like reinvent it to be a Star Wars ride. And I guess I didn't really remember what the OG decorations were, but they were still like up and they weren't covered. But then it was like Hyperspace Mountain, but like regular Space Mountain's exterior was still there. It was pretty interesting. Um, Kind of poor planning on Disney's part, I would say. But we got the Mickey dipped in chocolate because I needed that. We also got I got like a Corona at a sports bar, so that was really funny because it really felt like America. Like you felt like you were in Orlando, Florida, all of a sudden, which was really funny. And it was on and off raining, but not like all day. Just it happened a couple times, so that was interesting. We thought it was gonna be rainy the whole day though, so it was really nice because the sun kept coming out for us. So we got a little bit lucky there. And then I had Asher meet some of my friends. We did some like bucket list bars. One was called Foldero, which is a wine bar where they serve wine and ice cream, and that's it. So we all got biscuit, like cheesecake ice cream, which was really, really yummy. And then we also did Bizou, which is a bar. Sorry, I don't know why that came out so weird. We did Bizou, and it's a bar where you tell the waiter what drink you like what kind of drinks you like if you're tequila, if you're vodka, if you like sweet, if you like sour, this, that, and the other thing, cherry, orange, whatever. And they create a drink based off what you said you liked. So I said that I really liked Aperol and like mezcal, which I don't really love mezcal, but I was just interested in seeing how it would go, and like sour, and I got like a really good drink. My first one was just pretty basic, it just tasted like fruity vodka drink, but second one was definitely more like what I asked for, like Aperol and mezcal mix with some different fruity hints. It was cool. Got two drinks though, and it was like really expensive. But that's okay, and it happens, and it's for the experience. And then we went to a pizza bar afterwards and got big pizzas, and that was so fun. So, yeah, we had a great time, and we took little cute photo booth photos at this film photo booth in Montmartre, which like this film literally comes out wet because of the type of photo booth it is. There's only like 50 of these left in the world, apparently. If you're watching the video, you can see I'm holding the little strip of photos we got. So yeah, apparently there's only like 50 of those photo booths, like that type of photo booth left in the world. So of course when we went, there was a freaking line because TikTok blows everything up in Paris, and there's always a line. But I'd be going to the places that it blows up, so whatever. I have plans tonight that I need to leave at 5:30 for, and it is currently 4:41. So I'm thinking that I'll post the pod when I get back from my excursion with Elida, and we'll just see where the night takes us. And it's Easter, and I called my sister, and I texted my mom. But if I call them, it'll be later because I don't want to call them before church. So, whatevs. But yeah, I've been trying to stay on my journaling grind because that's been really important to me. Oh, and at Shakespeare & Co., I got two books. I got Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own, which I've never read before. It looks like a short read. Definitely seen quotes from it before. And then A Handful of Dust by Evelyn Waugh. Maybe it's Woe. I got like a mystery bag of books. So books are not expensive in there, but I would say from like $13 to $26. And they had this little offer where it was like a mystery book, but it was only $8. So I tried to get like a semi-thick one. Like I didn't want like a really thin one. And that's the one I picked. So I'm really excited to read it. Apparently it's like a comedy moment. Which I don't really ever read, so I'm excited about it. Oh, I don't like when you can see my computer. But yeah, I've been having some hair issues. I'm just not obsessed with how I got it done here. I think it's just the wrong shade of blonde, and when I look back on when I did my own hair, I like it so much better. So I'm thinking about that. I've realized that a lot of these podcasts have just been my stream of consciousness, which I might title this episode because it's all I really talked about. And I do definitely want a more structured take on the Gentlewoman. I think at the beginning I had a way more structured take. I think when you interview people, you have a more structured take just because you kind of go back and forth not interview, even just sit down with someone else about your experience, and there's kind of more of a like depth to it, I guess. But I just like talking to myself. We've established this episode, and I think it's important. And I think it's important to have a creative hobby that you're not trying to do for money. And this has me using a microphone, getting on YouTube, like posting on Instagram. Today I'm going to try to audio edit. I'm recording in GarageBand, so I'm going to try to like learn how to do that on YouTube. But yeah, overall, I've just been vibing and trying to enjoy my last couple weeks in Paris as much as I can, especially now that the weather's getting better, while still going to school and getting my good grades and showing up every day. So, yeah, I am not looking forward to coming home. That's really stressing me out right now because I'm well aware the second I get home, LSAT studying will need to begin. And that will definitely be an interesting contingent point on the Gentlewoman because we'll see if I last when I'm studying for the LSAT every freaking day. But yeah, that's just going to be a journey that I'm going on because I want a certain future, and that certain future involves studying for that test. So just got to get it done and over with. But yeah, just believe in yourself, homies. Drink some tea, eat good food, eat healthy food, slay the day away, see your friends, put some makeup on, and do a little dance. Because that's what usually solves my problem. But I love you all, and thank you so much for listening. And if you want to be on a Gentlewoman episode, please reach out to me. We can do a Zoom episode. We can do an in-person episode when I get back. Whatever you would like would be lovely. But I love you. Have a great week. Mwah. Goodbye.